Oh, I remember being bored out of my mind at the beginning of homeschooling when I had kids that were 10 all the way down to toddler. And then eventually by the time the oldest was 12, I had 5 kids and they were 12, 7, 3, 2 baby. And my life was so boring. It was so predictable. And I would find myself walking through the day sometimes thinking, okay, is this all there is? It's breakfast, and then it's quiet time, and then it's snack time, and then it's outside time, and then it's lunch time, and then it's nap time, and quiet time, busy time, errand time, dinner time, bedtime, repeat. But that's why it worked. I worked really hard when the littles were little to establish a very solid routine to my day, to the kids' day. And here's why it was so magic, because the kids never guessed what was next. And I don't care what anybody else tells you out there, children need boundaries. They need predictability. They need to know that when they wake up in the morning, they get a hug, they get a snuggle, they get a story, and then they get breakfast. And then after breakfast, everybody clears the table, and then they do something fun together at the table. That predictability is what makes the foundation rock solid for academics. You know, little kids, and by little I mean typically 7 and under, don't need paper and pencil activities. Instead, they need routine. They need to go to bed at a certain time, to wake up at a certain time, to go play outside at a certain time, to do puzzles and Play-Doh at a certain time, and puzzles and chores and errands and friends. If you could do anything different in your day, what would it be? How can you start tightening up your routine and your flow so that the day becomes really predictable for your kids, really boring for you, because it's going to feel like, is this all there is for a few years? But that's what it takes. What it takes for your children to be so secure that their creativity and imagination and determination can blossom is for your life to be so predictable and even boring. Now, when I look back now, it was a beautiful season. I loved that season of life, that predictability. I did struggle with boredom. I did struggle with loneliness because we didn't even graduate our children from nap time until they turned 5. And some of my kids napped twice in a day. The baby napped many times in the day, but we had 1 to 2 nap times, which rolled into 1 to 2 quiet times, which meant some days I felt chained to the house. But it's what my kids needed. It's what made space for independent learning, for quiet time, for reflection time, for reading time. It started way back then when the kids were 4 and under, the littles were 4 and under. I did it badly the first time. I started to figure it out by the second child, but by the third child, I had it nailed down. So what can you tighten up? Which part of your days can you start to rein in your routine? I always tell my mamas this, start with bedtime. Get your bedtime dialed in, and then start dialing in your morning routine and start picking through your day until you have a routine with a very predictable flow that your children just automatically run through without any kind of frustration. It makes a difference. Super great for them, a little boring for you, but magic, I promise.